is the continuation of a very sort of maritime theme now. Having seen the search and rescue element with the Atlantique about to get airborne, and of course the RIAT Versatility to follow. And here's the Atlantique on the roll, going off the hold before coming back to perform a really good display.
Leader 10. Or is that leader 10? Leader 5, leader 10. Leader 10, are you able to do the management phase?
Sound that's very reminiscent of the 60s and 70s with a lot of commercial aircraft equipped with not only that engine but generically across many brands with turboprop combination. Yes, well, it was very familiar on types such as the Transall C-160 that I was talking about earlier. But the Atlantique is off to hold before we turn to the present and future of RAF long-range maritime capability.
You finally see a bomb door open? You finally see a bomb door open?
Back with us now, running in for a really good demonstration of its charisma and its qualities, the Dassault Atlantique ATL2. Was designed in response to a 1958 NATO specification as a replacement for the maritime Lockheed Neptune. First flight took place in 1961 and it was manufactured between 1961 and 1987. It's described as a mid-wing monoplane with a so-called double-bubble fuselage, which comprises a pressurized crew cabin above an unpressurized 9-meter weapon bay. The latter will be displayed in the coming minutes. This is the ATL2 model, which completely replaced the original Atlantic in French Navy service.
01, ground. Ahead for confirm engine started.
And here, a really nice view of the upper surfaces. Regular crew on board one of these aircraft, numbers up to 14. And in terms of weapons, it can carry the AM-39X air-to-surface missiles, depth chargers and torpedoes for its conventional maritime roles. The Atlantique has been operated by France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands and Pakistan. The Defence utilises a crew of 14, but with a capacity for a further 12 passengers or a relief crew, in order to make use of its 18-hour endurance and exceptional 9,000-kilometre ferry range. And look out now for the forward turret having been deployed and that weapon bay open. Complete with dummy X-effect missiles visible in the weapons bay. Atlantiques also escort submarines from France's strategic naval forces to dissuade hostile activity in the Atlantic. But since the end of the Cold War, these aircraft, like a lot of other maritime patrol aircraft, MPAs, have also found a new purpose of over land as opposed to over water intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance activities in the current operational theatres. And those for these airplanes have been many and varied. For example, in Opération Serval, France's effort in 2013 to force jihadist militants out of Mali, Atlantiques were used as bombers with Phase Wave 2 laser-guided bombs in their weapons bays, as well as for ISR. French operations against the so-called Islamic State in Syria and Iraq. Atlantiques have supported French fighter bombers from both the Navy and the Air Force. They started off deploying one of these aircraft to perform battle damage assessments, then configured it as a bomber. And they flew ISR sorties in support of strike aircraft missions, including during efforts by the Iraqi armed forces to liberate Mosul. Recent deployments have been to the Philippines as part of the Clemenceau 25 mission to the Pacific with the French aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle and its carrier strike group, to Djibouti for sorties over the Red Sea, the Persian Gulf. There have been Black Sea operations out of Romania and Bulgaria, operations over the Mediterranean from Greece, and over Cyprus, the Baltic, the North Sea and the Atlantic. Bringing the aircraft in now for a search and rescue support configured task. And these fine aircraft, these ATL-2s, all new built by Dassault, the Atlantique having originally been a Bréguet design, could be in service for many years to come. This is one of the last aircraft in what's known as the Standard 5 configuration still flying. Most of them have been upgraded to what the French Navy calls Standard 6, with a new multifunction radar, tactical computers, upgraded acoustic suite, and all sorts of other changes. And it's very interesting to see the so-called magnetic anomaly detector boom protruding from the back of the aircraft, a classic configuration for so many maritime patrol aircraft, including the RAF Nimrod MR1s and MR2s, and indeed the Lockheed P3 Orion, which is represented by one of the CP-140M Auroras of the Royal Canadian Air Force here in the Shattuck Park. The crew now setting up for landing. Lieutenant David is the pilot and Lieutenant Tommy is the aircraft captain. Also on board, providing lookout, are Chief Petty Officer Benjamin, Petty Officer Baptiste and Petty Officer Fred, and Flight Engineers Master Chief Petty Officer Baptiste and Chief Petty Officer Maxime.
Yeah, I like it.
We get a leader vehicle north side on white to the Polish F-16 fleet. The Spanish Typhoon will not be airborne in the imminent slot, so we're seeing if the Polish will be ready. Leader vehicle to go to the Polish F-16 in white, please.
Ground leader 9 will do that, and I'll find someone else to do the wing walking for the Atlantic.
9, roger.
Disregard, the Atlantic is about to touch, I'll be able to do the wing walk and then get the F-16.
Understood. Nine, in fact, they're going to backtrack the Atlantic full length on the runway, so we do not use the Atlantic. So if you could go to the Polish in white, please, thank you.
Post white, leader 9, and I think we'll find you
Wonderful be back in the RIAT flying programme for 2025. Now it's to the Spanish Air and Space Force that we turn for our next item. More fast jet action, and it's going to be talked through by First Lieutenant Alex Santos.
We are waiting for a takeoff clearance for our demo pilot class.
So it's the Atlantique backtrack, a lot